The two brothers. My name is David. I had a brother named Daniel. We were born just 2 years apart and spent our entire childhood side by side. We ran through the fields together, helped our father on the farm, shared the same room, the same dreams, everything. But today, we are strangers. Worse than strangers, enemies. Our father passed away last year. He was old, tired, and ready to rest. Before he left us, he called us to his bedside and made it clear, the house we grew up in, the land he had worked all his life, and whatever savings he had managed to keep, everything was to be divided equally between his two sons. I believed that would keep us together. I was wrong. The morning after the burial, we sat in the lawyer's office. The lawyer read the will aloud. Every word confirmed what Dad had told us, everything to be shared 50-50. I turned to Daniel, expecting a nod, maybe even a sad smile. Instead, his face turned hard. "I'm taking it all," he said, calm and cold. I thought I had heard wrong. "What?" I said. "I'm keeping everything. The house, the land, the money. All of it." I stared at him, waiting for the joke, the apology, anything. Nothing came. His eyes didn't even meet mine. "I deserve it more," he continued. "I'm the eldest. And you always got the easy jobs, the praise. I was the one who had to prove himself." That wasn't true, not even close. I had woken up before sunrise every single day to help Dad while Daniel slept in or disappeared with friends. I never complained, never asked for extra. But in that moment, none of the facts mattered. He had already decided I didn't count. The lawyer tried to speak, but Daniel cut him off. He had come prepared with papers, claims, excuses I had never heard before. Within weeks, the house was in his name, the bank accounts emptied into his, the land transferred. I was left with nothing except the clothes I wore that day. I walked away from the only home I had ever known. My brother didn't even watch me leave. For months I drifted. I rented a tiny room on the other side of town and took whatever work I could find. Every night I saw his face, those cold eyes, and heard his voice saying I didn't deserve anything. The pain sat heavy in my chest like a stone point. One evening, I found myself standing in front of the old house again. I don't know why I knocked. Maybe I just needed to see if anything of my brother was still left inside. The door opened slowly. Daniel looked older, thinner, like the house had started eating him from the inside. He didn't slam the door. He stepped aside. We sat in the living room that used to be ours. Neither of us spoke for a long time. Finally, he broke the silence. "I thought the money would fix things," he said, voice low. "Fix me. But it didn't. This place feels empty. I feel empty." I didn't know what to say. Part of me wanted to scream, to make him feel even a fraction of what I had felt. Another part, smaller but growing, just felt tired. "I hated you," I said. "For months I hated you." "I know," he whispered. "I hate myself now." Silence again. He got up, walked to the mantelpiece, and took down an old framed photo, us as kids, arms around each other, grinning with missing teeth. He held it like it might break. "I miss him," he said. "Dad? Anne? I miss you." Something cracked open inside me, not forgiveness yet, but the beginning of it. "I miss him too," I replied. "And I miss my brother. I thought he was gone forever." Daniel's eyes filled with tears. "I was stupid. Greedy. Scared. I don't expect you to forget what I did. But if you ever want to come back, even just to sit here sometimes, the door will be open." I didn't answer right away. I looked around the room. at Dad's old chair, at the marks on the wall where we used to measure our height every birthday. It still hurt. It probably always would, but for the first time in a long year, the hurt felt a little lighter. I don't know if I can forgive everything, I said slowly, but I'm tired of carrying the hate. Maybe we can start small. He nodded, tears running down his cheeks that we didn't hug. We didn't make big promises. We just sat there a while longer, two brothers in the same room again, letting the quiet do the healing words couldn't yet manage. It's a long way back. Maybe we'll never be the kids in that photograph again. But at least we're no longer enemies. And for now, that's enough. I understand. I don't expect forgiveness right away, but I'm here, David. I'm trying. That night I went to bed feeling strange. It wasn't a happy feeling, but it wasn't a sad one either. It was the feeling of something starting to change, something starting to heal. The next day Daniel came to me. David, I want to make things right, he said. I know I can't fix everything, but I can start by giving back what I took. It wasn't much, but it was a start. He handed me a small envelope with a note inside. I'm sorry, the note said. This is for Dad. It wasn't the end of our story, but it was the beginning of something new. Maybe we would never be the same as we were before. Maybe we couldn't go back to the way things were. But we could move forward together. The days that followed were different. Daniel and I didn't talk about the past anymore, but there was a change in the air. It was as if we were both waiting for something, waiting for the healing to begin. I could see that Daniel was trying. He began to help around the house more. He fixed things that had been broken for years, and he even started to spend more time with the family. It wasn't perfect, but it was better than before. One evening we sat together in the living room. The TV was on, but neither of us were really watching. It was just the two of us sitting in silence. Finally Daniel spoke. David, I know it won't be easy. I know I've hurt you, but I want to be a better brother. I want to be someone you can trust again. I looked at him. I could see the sincerity in his eyes. For the first time in a long time, I believed him. I don't know if I can trust you yet, I said softly. But I'm willing to try. Daniel smiled, and I could see a small light in his eyes. It was a small step, but it was something. The following weeks were full of small changes. We didn't have big fights anymore. We didn't argue over the money or the past. We just started to live our lives day by day, trying to move forward. It wasn't perfect. There were still moments when the weight of what had happened hung over us, but we were both learning to live with it. And for the first time in a long time, I felt hope. One day we went for a walk together. It was a quiet afternoon, and the weather was perfect. As we walked, we talked about the future, about the things we wanted to do and the things we hoped for. It wasn't a deep conversation, but it was one of the most honest conversations we had ever had. I think we'll be okay, David, Daniel said as we walked. I think we'll find a way to make things right. I hope so, I replied. But it'll take time. And as we continued to walk, I realized that maybe, just maybe, we would find a way to rebuild, not just the things we had lost, but our relationship too. It wasn't going to be easy, but it was a start. And that was all I needed. It had been a few months since that walk. Things were different now. Daniel and I still didn't always agree, but the anger that once filled our conversations was gone. We were learning how to communicate, to understand each other. One afternoon, as we sat together, I looked at him. He was no longer the man I once fought with. He was different, and so was I. The hurt from the past was still there, but it didn't control us anymore. I know I made a lot of mistakes, David, Daniel said one evening. But I'm trying. I really am. I know, I said quietly. And I'm trying too. The weight of the past seemed a little lighter now that we spent more time together, not as enemies, but as brothers learning to build something new. There were still times when the past felt too heavy, but those times were becoming fewer. One day Daniel invited me to a small celebration. It wasn't a big event, just a simple gathering with close friends and family, but it was important to him, and I could tell it meant a lot. As I stood there looking around at the people who cared for us, I realized how far we had come. We had survived the worst of times, and we were still standing. I'm proud of us, I said to Daniel that evening. He smiled. Me too, David. Me too. And for the first time in a long time, I felt like maybe, just maybe, we could start fresh, not forget the past, but learn from it. Move forward one step at a time. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't easy. But it was real, and that was enough. We weren't the same brothers we had been before, but in a way we were better. We had learned from our mistakes, and we had found a way to rebuild. And as I looked at Daniel, I knew that our bond, though scarred, was still strong. We had made it through the hardest part, and maybe, just maybe, we could both find peace. This was the beginning of something new.